Hello folks, and welcome to this week's Music Alert video, which is split. Rather than one longer video, we've got two shorter videos instead, and this is the first of those two, which is why this one is coming out on a Friday. There's another one tomorrow. So let's begin with CD. And let's start with a new label to Music Alert's Frontiers, and a trio of releases beginning with Conquerors from the band New Horizon. This is a big, bombastic power metal, fast-paced frenzy that focuses on significant historical individuals or events, including things like Apollo, the moon mission, or you've got Alexander the Great and other notable figures. It's the Discovery Channel for metal fans, full of melody. This is a fun and fantastic LP in terms of size. How they squeezed everything onto a CD is anyone's guess. From the same record label, Frontiers, is Sun Bomb's debut album, Light Up the Sky. This is a more considered, slower-paced, yet no less powerful release from Tracy Guns and Michael Sweet, blending metal with good old-fashioned hard rock. And in fact, the album tips a sort of nod towards classic bands of yore. Strong vocals, long guitar workouts, creating power chords and trudging rhythms. Well, any rock fan is in for a good time, I reckon. Finally, also from Frontiers is Zeneris. I hope you pronounce it in that way, because that's what I'm going to call it, Zeneris, and another debut. It's called Eternal Rising, which appears here after the demise of the Italian power metal outfit. I think it's Caladia, or I think it's Caladia as opposed to Caladian. I think it's Caladia or Caladia. Anyway, one of those groups. Pick whichever one you fancy. So they split and they have formed another band. Well, the lead singer, a lady by the name of Nicoletta, she is in the band, and a couple of the original band members from that other one beginning with a K. They're in it too, hence the album name, Resurrection and all that. I think that's what they're trying to channel here. Caladia fans, I think it's Caladia, they will see the links with the female-fronted lead vocals, symphonic metal, speedy bombast, all that kind of thing. Another trio from you, this time from Germany, and Atomicat, and 3 compilations. Coincidentally, all volume 4s, and all spread over the label's so-called Rama series. So that means you get volume 4 of Stroll Rama, spanning 30 songs to sway on the dance floor, including ditties from Little Luther, Little Esther, Little Mr. Blues, George Terry, and just for a bit of contrast, the Blonde Bomber. Volume 4 of Bop Rama features 30 tracks of a more rocking variety, I would say. Foot-stomping blues, that kind of stuff. And this one features the likes of Billy Smith, Moon Mulligan, the Collins Kids, and Willie Nix. Finally, Volume 4 of Jive Rama. We have 30 tracks covering more classic rock and roll, energetic R&B, that kind of flavour of music. The content here derives from 1956 to 1963. Artists include the 5 Stars, Jimmy Dell, Johnny Parker, and the one and only Eddie Cochran. Also from Atomicat, a little bit different this one, is a multi-gatefold 3-CD set. Kind of a luxurious one, this one. It's devoted to one Jimmy Dolan. Is this one called Stingy, or is it called Stingy? I ain't sure. Anyway, one of them, Stingy or Stingy. This one includes 30 unreleased acetates. The style, well, we're looking at country, probably leaning more towards hillbilly. You've got jukebox boogie at its finest here, and we're covering music from 1947 to 1955. First piece of vinyl I can show you is a 7-inch single, and it's from the Trabants. What a wonderful car that was. And the song Mantra, with, on the flip side, Surfers on Acid. both from the Hypnotic Bridge record label. So let's begin with Mantra, shall we? This is an instrumental kickback, a meditation to 60s psychedelia. It has an Asiatic flavouring, oh so typical of the time. Drowning in wavy gravy, that's what it is. The B-side is a contrast. It steps, well, mostly steps back a decade towards the 50s, although there is, yes, a 60s crossover in style terms, and that makes it no less effective. I like this one. Jazz now, and the rather obscure Chicago artist John Wright and his trio. This LP is called South Side Soul. It was originally released on Prestige, but here reissued by Kraft's Original Jazz Classics. Now, the title was released originally in 1960. This is jazz, it's hard bop with a definite soul leaning. You have here the piano of Wright, and he is ably assisted by Wendell Roberts on bass and Walter McCants on drums. Next up, a solid gold classic now, up there with Dark Side of the Moon and Dylan's Blood on the Tracks. We have for you Golden by the Wombles. And actually, you know what? There was a heap of talent under that fur. Songwriting genius of Mike Batt, drum wizardry from Clem Catanini, a fascinating musician in his own right with a fascinating history all of his own, library music expert Les Hurdle, and jazz fusion rock punk legend Chris Spedding. Remember the single Motorbikin? I certainly do. And his early demos for the Sex Pistols? Oh yes. As for the LP, the Wombling song is here. Minuetto Allegretto, that's there too. Remember You're a Womble, that classic, and my favourite, Wombling Merry Christmas. Amazing stuff, the lot of them. Oh, and look out for the signed postcard inside the sleeve. Finally, we have a band called Apifera and the new LP, Keep the Outside Open. Wise advice, I would say. Featuring a lyric sheet within, this one provides a right old mix of jazz and proggy bits and psychedelia, a little bit of post-rock, and all kinds of other bits and pieces. The entire thing combines into a melodic trifle, and that's rather fascinating. And that's it, folks. Thanks for staying to the end of this particular truncated Music Alerts. I'll be back tomorrow with part 2, as it were, of this week's Music Alerts combo. For now, just before you go, can you click on the like and subscribe buttons, please? It would help this channel enormously. Also, down below, check out the links to my website, which has other music-related stuff you won't find here, plus my Patreon page. Again, lots of music-related text, video, and all kinds of other bits over there too. Have a browse. And my Facebook group, which you're welcome to join. I'll be back next Saturday with more Music Alerts. Well, I'll be back tomorrow first, and then the following Saturday, if all that kind of makes sense, kind of. Anyway, I hope to have your company at that time, whenever that time might be. Until then, folks, see, it's already started. Until then, bye-bye for now.